Tonight, police forced to use a taser on a dog over the weekend. And Sanjeev Gupta picks a company to build his $350 million solar farm near Whyalla.
With the latest from around the region, your nightly news with John Hunt begins now.
Good evening, thanks for your company. A Broken Hill police officer was forced to use his taser to stop a dog at risk of attacking him. The incident occurred as police tried to protect an elderly woman from the canine.
At about 8:30 on Friday morning, Broken Hill police were called to a William Street home responding to a dog attack. A 77-year-old woman was trapped in her car and needed help.
She was trying to get out of her car, and every time she tried to get out, a staffy dog was attacking her or trying to bite her.
Police arrived a short time later, but the dog had not calmed down, turning its attention towards the officers.
Unfortunately, the only thing that they could do to subdue the dog at the time was to use their taser. So they did actually fire the taser at the dog.
Using a taser on an attacking canine is part of police operating procedures. Inspector Smith says the dog was fortunately not electrocuted by the weapon. Only one of the two probes had made contact.
Which means that the taser is actually ineffective, but the stun of having the taser hit the dog was enough for it to go running and ran back down into its yard.
The dog's owner was given 2 fines for not securing the animal and for it attacking people.
Anybody that's ever been attacked by a dog, bitten by a dog, or chased by a dog will know how scary it can actually be. Just because we wear a blue uniform doesn't mean that we're any less scared.
Inspector Smith says the elderly lady and the officers involved did not receive any injuries. Patrick Reinke, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
A 72-year-old man has been arrested in Port Pirie for allegedly running over a pedestrian with his car last night. A 39-year-old man is being treated for serious leg injuries in hospital.
At 9 p.m. last night, an altercation between two men in Port Pirie resulted in one man being struck by a ute out the front of 33 Grey Terrace. A 39-year-old man was rushed to Port Pirie Hospital after sustaining serious leg injuries after being run over. Police say that they'll allege it was a deliberate incident.
He was treated at the Port Pirie Hospital before being airlifted to the Royal Adelaide Hospital, where it's undergoing further treatment.
Senior Sergeant Phil Kataris says that both men were engaged in an argument prior to the incident occurring, and that they were not known to each other. A 72-year-old man has been arrested and charged with cause to serious harm by dangerous driving. Yellow lines remain on the ground today, indicating where the collision took place. Major Crash is still investigating the incident. A Toyota utility vehicle has been impounded as part of the investigation.
The driver's vehicle has been seized and impounded locally, and is going to be assessed by members of Major Crash Investigation Section.
The driver has been bailed to appear in Port Pirie's Magistrate Court on the 5th of August. Anyone who witnessed the incident is urged to call Crime Stoppers on 1800 333 000. Dominic Beaton, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
A month after government approval, Chinese company Shanghai Electric has been selected to design and build Sanjeev Gupta's 280-megawatt Kultana solar project north of Whyalla.
Sanjeev Gupta's renewable energy vision is becoming a reality, signing with Chinese company Shanghai Electric to begin shaping Whyalla's future.
1 gigawatt program for Whyalla in total is over $1 billion US. This is 280 megawatts.
He says the decision was not taken lightly, with his team studying to find the best company for the job.
The project will then give us momentum for all the other projects which we hope to build in Australia, so it was a very careful choice.
And it'll be really good to see something tangible happen, because that's what the people of Whyalla want to see.
Although they're an international company, both sides have committed to making local jobs a priority.
Yeah, no, absolutely. There will be about 350 jobs created for this during construction, and they will be mostly local.
And community leaders are welcoming the solar farm, saying it will make Whyalla appealing to investors.
We need to do what we can to encourage far more competition at a generator level, and of course we need to do far more to help people on low incomes.
Shari Hams, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Port Pirie police are appealing for information following a recent dangerous driving incident in Solomon Town. At 9:45 Monday night, a dark-coloured Jeep was captured on CCTV doing burnouts on the grass area near the beach. Anyone who can assist in identifying the driver is urged to call Crime Stoppers. The Red Cross Blood Service is in desperate need of donations after one of the worst starts to the flu season in years. They're visiting the region next week in order to boost stocks.
It's an important donation that goes on to save countless lives.
It's something that gives back to the community. You never know if I'll ever need some or whenever someone else might need some, and it just gives you a sense of pride.
But an early start to the flu season has seen blood supplies dwindle across the region. The Red Cross urgently calling for an additional 6,000 people to give blood over the next 2 weeks. In a statement, the Red Cross Blood Service says an outbreak of flu amongst donors has slashed the amount of donors who've been able to give. Grant Woods has been donating his blood for 30 years.
It's a bit of a sharp jab when they put the needle in, but most of the time it's about 5 seconds of pain for very much more gain.
Grant has AB positive blood, meaning his plasma can be transfused into other patients who have other blood types. He says it's a great feeling to receive text messages for when his blood is used.
And it gives you the encouragement to come back and get another message that's very positive in your life.
The Mobile Blood Donor Centre will be visiting Whyalla next week as it makes its way around the region. Nathan Rector, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Still to come tonight, the future of the Regional Showcase Awards up in the air, and Broken Hill's Trades Hall undergoing much needed repairs. Welcome back. The state government has denied claims regional businesses could be hit by the demise of Brand SA. Industry Minister David Ridgway says key programs like the Regional Showcase will continue to operate.
It's the face of South Australia, facing a government funding cut of $1.6 million.
This means we'll be forced to close our doors on Friday the 28th of June.
Brand SA will wrap up its operations at the end of this month. Both the brand logo and the flagship I Choose SA campaign will be managed by the state government. But the future of initiatives like the Regional Showcase remain undecided. The annual event brings regional people and businesses together to connect and tell their story.
To showcase what fantastic businesses and successful businesses we do have.
The non-for-profit opening up expressions of interest to save a number of its popular programs.
There's a number of things they did that we're looking at as to whether government does them or we'll try and perhaps get Business SA to do them.
The opposition has condemned the funding cut, but many are optimistic the programs will be picked up by other organisations, and the government says regional areas won't be forgotten.
I suspect that in the end you really won't see much difference. It'll continue to be used and will promote the state.
Garth Burley, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Recreational fishers are being reminded South Australia's statewide cockle ban is now in place. Until October 31st, anyone caught taking them could be fined up to $20,000. The government says the closure helps maintain a sustainable and healthy population of cockles within local waters. One of Broken Hill's most iconic buildings will finally get the long-awaited restoration it needs. The Trades Hall was once home of the city's powerful union movement.
Still standing after 110 years, but it is a little worse for wear.
It has been a very, very long time. We've had hold-ups galore. There have been all sorts of things set in our way.
Construction of the Broken Hill Trades Hall began in 1898 but wasn't completed until 1905. These offices and halls saw vital meetings and gatherings during the height of union power in the Silver City.
The whole history of mining and unionism in Broken Hill has passed through these doors.
Its condition worsened by the 2016 hailstorm, with the building's roof in dire need of repair.
There was a lot of leakage, and of course we have electrical wiring too, which posed a great problem there.
But thanks to donations from locals and unions, as well as government grants, work's begun to restore the hall's old roof. Miss Clark says the Trades Hall is very popular with tourists interested interested in Broken Hill's heritage.
It is over 100 years old, and a lot of history has happened under this roof.
Patrick Ryanke, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Wyalla's Sunrise Christian School is a step closer to completing their new middle school. The new buildings will arrive mid-June as the school helps students prepare for secondary school.
New buildings and new classes. Sunrise Christian School community preparing to welcome a middle school in 2020.
Grade 6 and 7s will form the grade 8s, 7 and 8s for next year in the middle school.
Principal Henry Eckelbrecht says the changes is a step forward for Sunrise.
That we are actually planning that, and by September we will see our building in place with a new bitumised car park as well. With middle years education approaches, and that's going to happen in a dynamic learning environment.
In 2021, Year 9s will be welcomed. Then in 2022, Year 10s.
Because we don't want to leave Sunrise and we get to stay. It's amazing.
Maths, technology, there'll be opportunities for multimedia engagement.
Construction commences tomorrow and students say that the school will be transformed.
Yeah, it's really going to look different than what we are all used to.
These gradual changes have been tailored to suit the students.
Building from grade 8, 9 and 10 successively is the best plan for us.
Shari Hams, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Stay with us after the break. Garth Burley will have the latest soccer and netball results, and Britt will have the latest weather forecast. Hello again. A 14-year-old Port Lincoln gymnast has been chosen as South Australia's first country representative in the Border Challenge competitions. Missy White will be leading the state team.
She's been training since she was just 2 years old. Now she's off to Queensland to represent South Australia. Missy White is the first country representative to be selected for the Gymnastics Border Challenge competition.
I'm good enough to go there because I'm in the top 10, so I know that I'm worthy enough. So yeah, I'm just excited to go.
The 14-year-old was chosen to captain South Australia's team after impressing the state's top judges in 2 qualifying competitions. She travelled to Adelaide competing against 20 other athletes, all gunning for the top spot.
She had to score a certain amount of points on each apparatus to qualify, and she qualified quite easily in both competitions.
Missy will lead 9 other teammates to Caloundra in Queensland for the event, where they'll go up against gymnasts from around Australia.
She works hard and she trains hard, and she's a lovely dancer on the floor as well.
Missy trains up to 3 times a week and says gymnastics has always been a part of her life.
I think it's just because it's a sport not many people do in Port Lincoln, so it's just different and it's just really fun.
The team will fly to Queensland at the end of the month. Nathan Regter, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Good luck to her, it's an amazing achievement. Now for a look at the weekend sport action. In Port Augusta netball, the top 2 sides battled it out, with one team extending its purple patch of form this season. Garth Burley has more.
The red-hot form of St Joseph's continues, making it 6 wins on the trot after defeating Vikings. A strong performance in the middle of the court, setting up the win. In the other match, reigning premiers Railways were too strong for Magpies. In Whyalla, Warriors surprised everyone with their skill in front of goal, upsetting ladder leaders Kiwi. True Blue won by a margin of 60 points, and YCW defeated Ravens. In Port Lincoln, it was heart-in-mouth stuff in the match between Wanilla Rangers and Souths United, with Rangers scraping over the line by a single goal. Waybacks and St Mary's also claiming wins. Turning to Pirrie, where spectators were treated to 2 exciting games of netball. Ashley Schrader starring in St Mark's 6-goal victory, while Blue Wren held their composure in a tight win against Solomon Town. In Port Lincoln soccer, South Coast have extended their run at the top with a 2-goal win over Seacole Masters, and Lincoln Knights survived a scare against the winless Raiders. Westlands has also strengthened its lead at the top of Whyalla Soccer with a 2-1 victory over Croatia, and Wanderers and Steel United were forced to share the points. In the Amateur League, Savoy netted 3 goals to seal a home win over Macedonia, while in the States League, Northern Demons fell short against the Vipers. And finally to the Silver City, St Joe's scored 4 to seal a win against Alma, and West found the back of the net 8 times against Celtic. So action heating up on the park despite the cooling weather. And remember, if you have local sports results that you'd like featured here on 7 Spencer Golf News, drop us a line at localsport@sca.com.au. That's it from me, John.
Thanks, Garth. Weather time now, and here's Britt with the details.
Thank you, John, and good evening. We've had a mild day across the region. Port Augusta and Port Lincoln both with tops of 15, Whyalla, Port Pirie and Adelaide all 14, and a max of just 12 degrees at Broken Hill. To the satellite with a strong high pressure system south of the Bight, moving slowly to the east. On the coast tomorrow, east to southeasterly winds at up to 15 knots with seas below 1 metre. We'll see the sunrise just after 7:15 in the morning with sunset at 5:17 tomorrow evening. Taking a closer look at tomorrow now, with a frosty morning expected over some parts. Port Augusta and Coffin Bay with tops of 16. Port Lincoln, Woodna, Port Pirie and Adelaide all 15. 14 the top for Whyalla, Corn, Cleve and Kadina. Broken Hill 13, Clare 12. Looking ahead to the end of the week with the mild conditions continuing. Port Lincoln sitting in the mid to late teens but with a sunny day expected on Friday. Similar conditions at Cleve, Woodna with a frosty Thursday ahead of some sun on Friday. Whyalla and Port Augusta both looking sunny Thursday and Friday with tops in the late teens. Kadina with a top of 14 degrees on Thursday. Port Pirie, Clare and Broken Hill all looking frosty on Thursday with maximums in the low teens, warming up into the weekend. And John, with that forecast, I think we can say that winter is well and truly here.
Certainly sounds like it. Thanks for that, Britt, and welcome back. And that's the local news this Tuesday evening. Thanks for joining us. I'll have some updates later in the evening, but until then, enjoy your evening's viewing here on 7. On behalf of the team, it's good night.